Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Millionaire Maker. As we can see, the tables are getting somewhat smaller as the competitors are one by one leaving the competition, sadly. And we've lost some really great people. I'm sure you'd all agree with that. And your task, your opportunity over today's session is to do whatever you can to keep yourself in again. So, the first task. I'm sure if I put to you the proposition, and you've heard me say this before, that time is your most valuable asset, you would all agree with me, yes? No arguments there. Because we're all here to make money, of course. But money itself isn't the objective, it's what we then do with the time that money buys for us. The first exercise is that I would like you to review the last week of your lives, mentally, what went well, what could have gone better, and specifically, I want you to identify 3 things. So compared to some of the other exercises you've had, you might be feeling this is quite easy. It's not, I promise you. In addition to that, I'd like you to come up with some questions that you will ask yourself in the future to identify how do you know whether you should do more of a thing or less of a thing. Because I find it startling, truly startling, that everybody says time is my most valuable asset, and yet none of us are ever given any kind of education or support on what we should do with the time that we have. All right, over to you teams, and I'll be around to talk to you very, very shortly. Good luck.
Thank you.
Richard, great to see you again. How you doing?
Very well, Paul, and yourself?
Excellent. Highlights of the last week, or highlight of the last week.
Okay, probably the big highlight was I gave a presentation at Six Figure Summit.
You did?
And I pitched it directly at investors for the first time rather than just talking about the deals I'm doing. 4 people approached me afterwards. 4, which is an all-time record.
Nice.
And I've spoken to all 4 of them. I think 3 of them potentially successful.
Wow.
So for me,
So
that was my big success.
1 presentation.
Yes.
From that, 4 approaches from which you think 3 are potential partners.
Yes.
What has that taught you?
It's taught me a couple of things. One, about being in the places where investors are. Mm-hmm. 2, having a pitch that connects them to what I want them to be connected to. So it's about the marketing as well.
That's one hell of an example of profile, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
It's ticking all those boxes that, I know you believe it.
Yeah.
One of my frustrations might be a little bit strong, but you're a lovely guy, you've got a pile of experience. I sometimes feel like you don't use that experience,
I think
and
you're
it's
right.
fabulous to see that you're finally doing that.
I would say go out to a wider range of places, but B, just be more focused on how you can help them, on what you can do for other people.
Sure.
Think in their shoes.
All right, yeah, how you could serve them, yes, perfect.
Yes.
Because by not offering the opportunity to work with you, you might be costing them a fortune. You probably are costing them a fortune.
I hope so.
But it's one mindset shift, isn't it? From, oh my God, I'm too nervous to ask them for money, through to, well, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know my projects work.
Yeah.
So if I don't offer them the opportunity to invest with me, I'm going to cost them a fortune.
Absolutely right.
Perfect.
So,
well done, my friend.
backing that.
Good job.
Thank you, Paul.
Hello, Cynthia.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. How's the last week been?
Oh, very good. I've had quite a few landlords that I've had to go and see.
Yes.
Who want to use their properties for SA units.
Seen you all over social media.
Yes, I'm always on social media. So I've been spending a lot of time this week speaking to agents, seeing what they actually want in a course. I've got sort of like a power team of 8 agents that are working with me. Sometimes when you're explaining to landlords about using their properties for service accommodation, sometimes the numbers don't totally work, so you're not really sure, 'cause especially with the management.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, for them to really get the benefits of the SA, because they're looking to solve the Section 24, need you to manage it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been interested, but when they looked at the figures minus in the management fee,
Yeah.
it's not working out that good. So I'm just wondering
You're
how
asking
to
yourself
approach
the
that.
question,
Yeah.
how do I improve my offering? Fantastic.
Yes.
When you're looking to launch that?
I'm a couple of weeks away from that because
2 weeks.
Yeah, okay, make it 2 weeks.
I'm asking.
Yes.
You committing?
Yes, I'll commit 2 weeks.
Cynthia is a letting agent.
Yes.
And she's looking to help all the other letting agents out there that are getting destroyed by this fee ban.
Yes, definitely.
And she's put together a course, so she's you're doing the pilot.
Yes.
And you heard it here first. She is 2 weeks away from launching that course. So by next time you see her on one of these vids, she'll be launched, yes?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
All right. Hi Sarah, hi George, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, great.
So, reviewing your last week, how's it been?
Busy.
Yeah, busy, very busy. So what went well? Education. You know, for ourselves, you know, one of our values is to keep re-educating ourselves, keep developing.
I do know that
ourselves.
about both of you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
So-
So we helped out the commercial portfolio
You did?
of the course, and we learned some things. So even though we'd been on the course before, it was exactly a year ago.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
The questions people ask are different, you know, each time, and that steered the content slightly.
So as well as education, there was a whole pile of networking as well, wasn't there?
Yeah. So we met a
we
lot
met
of
loads
people,
of people.
and I managed to help quite a few. So
Which is fantastic. The fact that you were combining education with networking, with supporting and serving others, I think it's fantastic.
You know, quite often because I've been presenting a lot and because I'm on YouTube quite a lot, I quite often get people kind of mob me now.
Nice.
So I've had experiences where I'm just coming out of the hotel, just milling around in reception, and then a load of people just come up to me. And
But from my experience, you need to be really clear about what your strategies are. You need to be really clear about your investment areas.
social media, so we spend about an hour a day, and it's very easy to get pulled down a rabbit hole and stay the whole day on there. It's something we have planned to outsource for quite a while.
Okay.
Or outsource
It's
parts of
contacting
it.
people that have contacted us, so it's getting back
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
And some things obviously we have to do ourselves, but other things it's like they'll contact us and then we're getting back to them with kind of, it's a bit more systemizable,
Yeah.
which George has been doing, and that
Yeah.
is something that we're looking to outsource because
Yeah.
it is outsourceable.
It can be outsourced as long as you've got rules.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you know, the easy stuff anyway.
Yeah, and I probably get 20 people trying to friend me every day. So
Yeah.
again, you've got to check
Are you
them.
at the
are they
5,000 friends or not?
Not yet. I'm sure it's not actually going to be long. I think I'm
No.
about 1,100,
But
1,200.
it's snowballing.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
It
moment.
seems to be gaining at an exponential
Yeah,
rate.
sure.
And then you reach your limit. So what do you do when you reach your limit?
Well, you've got to set,
Delete
no, well, you can if you want. You've got to set up what's called a public profile.
Right.
I put that off for too long. Ultimately, it's not about you, it's about them. And if you're trying to serve them, and if you have stuff that's of value to others, to not do it. I mean, you didn't make the rules, I didn't make the rules, that's Facebook's rules.
Yeah.
You can't communicate with more than 5,000 friends, not allowed.
Right.
What are you going to do? So you might as well set up your public profile.
Right.
Now.
Rather than later, yeah.
Will do.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, great week actually. I love reviewing my week.
All right.
Yeah, we do it every week anyway because we have a call every Tuesday with all the guys from the Millionaire Maker on our side.
Top
Yeah.
tip,
Yeah,
review your week every week. Love
yeah,
it.
It's brilliant. It's,
Don't measure it, you can't manage it.
yeah,
And so you are both measuring and then you're managing because you're reviewing what happened. Love it.
we got a good mix of leisure and business.
Nice.
That's not all about business.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, we had lunch out, we celebrated an anniversary, but took time over the D-Day commemorations and,
Yeah.
and really focused on, you know, things outside of your own life. We've committed to outsourcing 75% of our business within 90 days.
Oof.
So that's a big commitment.
You see so many people, and I just, sometimes I'm biting my tongue, I'm shaking my head because if I say to anybody, if you say to anybody in the street, time's your most valuable asset, they'll all agree.
Yeah.
And then you see people wasting so much of it.
Yeah, you have to manage your time in the first place, and I think the systems and outsourcing has taken it to a new level. So we're managing our time well, but we've got an hourly rate that we're worth,
Sure.
and we're going to be outsourcing our business.
Fascinating. Somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago now, they said, if you have a 10-minute phone call and it's boring the backside off you and it's not useful to you, then 8 of those 10 minutes are your fault. we place politeness above death. Literally, don't we? It'd be a very unusual phone call if you were talking to a salesman or someone trying to sell you PPI insurance or something. You said, actually, can you stop now? You're boring me. Goodbye. Right? Can you imagine a Brit doing that?
Well, I think you have to definitely be good at directing the conversation away from time wasting, and I'm pretty good at that, actually.
All right.
It's about balance. It's about making sure that every day you do something for yourself and something for your business.
All right.
Whether it's like, you've got to have that balance, because you can't keep up the pace without reflecting and without giving yourself something of a treat.
All right.
So
tip after tip after tip. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
We had a great week last week.
Did I hear a little whisper that you might have a new JV partner?
Absolutely. In fact, the three great things about last week is all around JV partners and deals. Yeah, so we went to the Six-Figure Summit and we had a meeting with Jonathan. We're talking to some new potential JV partners as well as a result of the Six-Figure Summit, which is great. And over that weekend as well, we've consolidated our relationships with existing JV partners. So as far as that's concerned, that was a great thing last week.
Deal that you're doing with Jonathan, what's the gross yield?
So that is 20%, about 23% gross yield. Yeah.
That's not something you're used to measuring, is it, gross yield?
No. It's something that Jonathan's introduced us
And
to.
what does Jonathan say all the time? Know your numbers. So I'm loving this, because what you guys have been good at through all the time I've known you is finding deals. What you've sometimes lacked clarity on is, because when I've asked you questions before, like, what's the gross yield? You're going to which completely loses it from an investment perspective, because if you don't know your numbers, confidence, whatever, now I know the deals are good, and what I'm loving is that you're just coming back with the answers now instead of Top challenge last week that you needed to cope with?
We found that we were spreading ourselves too thinly.
You were at a busy week?
Yeah, we did have a very busy week, and as a result of that, we lost focus on funding a deal that we were doing. And also we didn't get things done in a timely manner, and we weren't as prepared as we should have been for some things. So
if there's a lesson in there, how can you get your business to a point where it runs without you? Because if the business requires you, it's not a business, is it? It's a job.
Exactly, yes.
So I'll leave you with that thought, and I'll catch up with you a bit later on. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you.
All of us have got a finite amount of time. None of us know when it's going to be our last day. And your challenge was to review your last week and see what was good, what could be improved, and the questions you're going to ask.
I presented at Six-Figure Summit and got 4 potential investors coming speaking to me afterwards, and I followed up with all 4, and 3 of them look potential.
So you've got huge experience, lots of properties, and the last thing in the world that should be stopping you is shortage of funds, because everybody should want to work with you. And you finally got up there and done it. So when you stood on stage in London, how did it feel? Was it scary? Did you want to be there?
I wanted to be there, yeah.
Is this the new you?
I hope so.
All right.
You just don't tell people what you do enough. So it was lovely to see you get on stage in London and tell people. But when I first met you around Platinum, I had no idea. I thought you were a newbie, a beginner, when I very first met you. Because you come across so lovely, you just haven't got an ego. And I think starting to open up more and tell more people about what you're doing, Paul's absolutely right. Everybody should want to work with you because you've done amazing things.
I think I'm beginning to realise the extent, if you like, of some of the many things I've done and how they actually can be presented to people.
I would like to see you more on social media as well. I think you're missing a trick. You did so amazing in London. I got all them people to join the Touchstone community in London, so you should be in the community posting some stuff, keeping it alive, because investors need to be kept warm as well.
I need to do more.
The deals that you're doing, I mean, I don't know, not in this room so much, but many people feel awkward about asking for money. If your mindset is, I'm serving these people by allowing them to invest with me, not in a megalomaniac type way, but for Christ's sake, how many properties you got now?
50, 60.
50, 60, you don't even know. Here's my challenge. have a word with yourself.
Yeah, can do that.
Write down what you've actually done, then ask yourself, 10 years ago, would you have liked to have worked with someone like that? Next up, we've got Cynthia. The reason you're doing this happened on the 1st of June. It is what?
Tenant fee ban.
It's here, it's happened.
Yes.
You made a commitment to me, one-to-one over there. You're going to make that commitment to the group?
Yes, so within 2 weeks I'll have the course up and running and start, doing the webinars and the course.
Educating other letting agents?
Yes, definitely. A lot of people who come forward and connect to me who want to get started in property, and I think I should utilise it more. So when you teach, you learn, and let them learn and actually free up a lot of my time with them learning and giving them jobs to do.
Lovely to see that, Cynthia. I really want to see how you are going to deliver your promise you just made, and I would want to know who's going to keep you accountable, just to make it happen, because we all learn differently. There are some people who just have a snippet of the information, jump in and learn on the job, learn with it. You seem to me the type who wants to understand it from each angle. So I now for a while feeling that I need action from you. Yes. So I love that you are making that commitment. We just need to make it happen, please. Okay. So we should make sure that Cynthia is held responsible for that, accountable for it.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Excellent. How's your week been from a time perspective?
Well, it's funny that this is the topic for this week, because last Tuesday we did a 3-hour webinar on systems for outsourcing. So we've committed actually over the next 90 days, just over 3 months, under 3 months, to take 75% of our routine tasks out of our control and put them into VA control.
Your hourly rate, you've got clarity about your hourly rate, haven't you?
Absolutely. So we can outsource our tasks at almost 1/10 of our hourly rate, which is huge leverage, isn't it?
Which makes it insane not to.
Yeah.
But the reason you can do that with such clarity is you've got clarity about your hourly rate. So for anybody listening in, what's your hourly rate? And if you don't know, why not? There is no excuse for not knowing your hourly rate. And if you can get that done for 10%, and with due respect, Charlie, probably the people that are doing it will be better at it than you are, because they'll be specialists.
I love this, and I think us as a business, we use, I can't remember how many we counted,
9,
virtual assistants, 9 we have in the business. But yeah, I love how you've got straight on it and you're looking at it. And a lot of people tell me that they don't use VAs or they don't systemize the business because they've not got the time to outsource to the VAs. And I love it that you spent 3 hours, which is well worth time, because what it's going to save you going forward is
huge,
incredible.
Yeah. Penny and Pete, I don't even know where to start apart from Penny. Can you let Pete speak a bit this time? You've had, that's what I'm just saying what he said. He said he wasn't brave enough to say it.
We attended the 6-figure summit down in London, and also the service accommodation masterclass in London.
Yes.
As well as meeting with our new investors and business partners. A well-known character, to be fair, a guy called Jonathan Burleand. So he's.
So Jonathan's doing a deal with you.
Yeah. Well, he was on the phone talking to his business people, and I took a call from an agent because I was trying to get a deal, and we started negotiating the asking price. And then once he'd finished his conversation, he then said to me, "Was that a deal, Pete? Is that a deal?" And I'm thinking, how on earth was he concentrating on what he was doing and then listening to my conversation, and then just said,
Give me the numbers,
give me the numbers, mate. Give me the numbers like he does. And so I gave him the numbers.
Okay, so let me ask you 3 questions.
Yeah.
When we were in Monaco, we had the pleasure of Jonathan being with us for a few days. Towards the end of that, Jonathan said that he wanted everybody in that room to be his what?
His business partners.
His business partners. So that's where the deal came from. But you can't possibly do deals with people that don't know you. So you put yourself in the way of an opportunity. Next, what does Jonathan always say? Never ignore the
numbers.
The numbers.
Yeah.
So I think you need to be more confident about the numbers and just spit the numbers back. As soon as you dither in any way, you lose the investor's confidence.
I do think that putting yourself into situation, even if it is a bit outside of your comfort zone, because some of it I know it is, pushing yourself to the next stage, is yielding now the benefits you are going to have. So just wanted to say, well done, keep doing what you are doing. I know you are very systemized. I think it makes a huge difference that now Pete is also full-time in property. So look forward to see what the next few months is going to bring to you guys.
Yep, thank you.
George and Sarah, how you doing?
Yes, very good, very good.
Perfect. You've been pretty busy the last week. You've been maxing out on the time front.
Yeah.
What have you been focusing your time usage on?
Yeah. Well, we went to the Six Figure Summit. In
You
London,
did?
and also the Commercial Portfolio Builder course, which is
All
the
right.
second time
Yeah.
on that.
Nice.
And Six Figure Summit's really good. And even though we've been multiple times, you definitely learn something every time.
Cool.
I've been presenting on my journey on stage, and I always get a lot of very good feedback on that, and a lot of interest in the book that we're writing, Retire Now.
Did I hear that you've even, I don't know how Sarah feels about this, did I hear that you've got some groupies now?
Yes, got some groupies.
Yeah.
I get mobbed sometimes.
He does show me pictures.
Yeah.
I let him off on his own for a few days.
Yeah.
I know. And he's got all these women draping themselves all over it.
Mostly
And
guys.
men, a lot of men.
Mostly guys. Well, takes all sorts.
I've been progressing all the finance. We've got various different loans and finance and investors, so I've been moving those all the way along.
And just to remind the listeners, what's the purchase price on the hotel?
It's 1.55. So
1.55.
we're raising lots of money.
Yeah, and you're there, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
In an ideal world, it's the 23rd of July.
23rd,
Yeah, for George's birthday.
Yeah, there we go. Birthday present. Buy yourself a hotel. Top tip for everybody listening.
He's not
What-
paying anything else.
No, well, just saying. You spoil yourself a bit. What did you get for your birthday, dear? Oh, a hotel. Yeah, cool. So, judges, what do you think?
Guys, prepare to sacrifice for the end goal. Because quite often people sit there and want things, but they are not prepared to do things for it. And you started with when you sold your home so you can start and invest in property. Now you are going with the big dream, which will, when it all fall into place, but you know that for a year and a half, it will be hard work, and you will be in it to make it the end result, what's your dream. And I think that's, for me, is critical for everybody to know. Things don't happen by itself. It's not enough of one thing. You need to do things for it. And you guys are a perfect example with everything what you do. So well done, and look forward to it. I want to go and visit that hotel soon.
Yeah, just to build on what Annika is saying there, the way I like expressing that is that you're prepared to do things that others don't, so that ultimately you can have things that other people can't. All of us have to have highly skilled and capable people in our power team. We agree with that? Yeah. Just before we went out to Monaco, we got a call to say that our accountant, who's been our accountant for a decade, a fantastic guy, was going to need to take some time out for chemotherapy. And I'm going to prove to you that time is your most valuable asset. His funeral is tomorrow. And I want you to focus on that in a good way, because that is what he would want us to do. You're here today, gone tomorrow. Sadly, we are getting to the sharp end of this now. We are losing these millionaire makers. Nobody's been voted out, it's just they haven't been voted to be kept in. So we need to say goodbye to our good friend Ed, still very much part of the programme, very much part of the community. So well done for everything, Ed. You're a superstar. I know your property journey is just beginning. So well done, my friend. Love spending time with you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And the rest of us here, we're just going to sail this boat on, and we ain't going to forget you, but you're not on board just at this moment. So thanks, Ed, and see you soon.